Perfect, stuff like that. I remember when Mental Misstep was a thing. That was pretty popular.
Oh, Mental Misstep.
Glad that one's gone.
Tier. Wrong.
Just kidding. On the other hand, Michael Nyberg playing Blue-White. Just stuff you might expect: Snapcaster Mages, Stoneforge Mystics, Jaces. Generally, this matchup really favors the Dredge player. And looking at the sideboard, Michael has just 3 relics to help him out. This is going to be a rough matchup for Mike Nyberg.
Yes, most definitely. Well, a lot of times with Dredge, either you come with the hate or you don't.
Yeah.
And, you expect to see it or you expect to dodge it. And looks like he's going to be dodging some bullets here.
Yeah, exactly. It's, a lot of players just like, well, if I play against Dredge, I'll play against it. It's a pretty small portion of the field. I'll just lose that match, and that might be what happens to Mike Nyberg. Or he can just draw his relics after sideboarding and get there.
Yeah.
Or, I have seen them win game 1 with crazy things. Sometimes maybe Dredge makes a mistake, has a slow draw. They get a key spell forced or something. But I've played a lot of Dredge, and overall I feel like this matchup really favors the Dredge pilot.
It'll be interesting to see what comes out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Mike Nyberg made a top 8 of the Standard Open, too. So he'd love to go for back-to-back top 8s here.
Maybe try to take home the trophy this time.
Yeah, he ended up losing to David Thomas playing Solar Flare.
It looks like they're shuffling up for game 1.
Yeah, shuffling each other's decks at this point, I think. Yeah, I'm going to see, I think for Michael to win the first game, he really wants like a Force in his opening hand, maybe a Swords to help counteract. What's going on? Oh, Ryan is taking a mulligan, as Dredge tends to do.
Yeah.
That deck mulligans super aggressively, but I've also mulliganed to like 3 cards before and won the game. So, pretty impressive. You can go down that low if you get a reasonable enough draw.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Dredge just mulligans well. I mean, it's like, fairies. Fairies can mulligan to 5 or 4 and still win, and Dredge can do the same thing, so.
And Ryan Daly just draws and passes on the draw discard plan. Michael Nyberg leading on the island. Often with Dredge, will just do that. Draw up to 8 cards, discard. I've won games with Dredge through only game actions, never casting a spell. Just Icarid you every turn. So Ryan was on the play, just passed without playing a land. Now he's going to go to his end step and discard a Golgari Grave Troll. I guess Michael's going to go for an end step Brainstorm.
Seems solid. Let's see. Looks like there's lots of goodies in Michael's hand.
Yeah, I see a Swords to Plowshares, a Counterspell, a couple lands, 2
Ooh,
Force
2
of Will.
Force.
Wow, Ryan Daly was smart to do that. That's why you do that, is to prevent yourself from getting blown out by Force of Will. That's why you go on the draw discard plan. Ryan Daly seems to be pretty experienced with the archetype doing just that.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Mike puts 2 cards back, searches up Tundra to shuffle his away.
Which is, I think, the correct play when you've got fetch lands in Brainstorm. I think you want to use your fetch lands to shuffle stuff away rather than thin your deck out, as a lot of players tend to do.
And now Ryan gets to discard that Golgari Grave Troll. Yeah, that's really the defining play of Legacy. I think the defining interaction is fetch lands and Brainstorm. It's just so ubiquitous and really does dominate the format. Michael Nyberg.
He's got a Wasteland. Is that a Batterskull?
Yeah, that is a Batterskull. Interesting thing about
2 swords.
Yeah, 2 swords. That's a really good hand for this matchup.
Yeah.
So Ryan finally judges his Grave Troll, sees plenty of good stuff. Thug, Grave Troll, and Sneakweed Imp, and Dread Return, I think, are the relevant spells he flipped over. The way Dredge works, if you're not familiar... Putrid Imp too, yeah. The way Dredge works, if you're not familiar, is basically you're going to flip a bunch of cards. It's totally non-intuitive. It's not how you expect Magic to be played at all. You're going to flip a bunch of cards from your deck into your graveyard, and then you're going to just basically use cards like Cabal Therapy and Dread Return to return things. And the way you get tokens, you can get tokens from Bridge from Below, which is a weird card. Whenever a creature dies, if Bridge is in your graveyard, you get a token.
Well, the caveat to that is if one of your opponent's creatures dies, then the Bridge from Below gets removed.
Right. So you gotta be careful with that one.
Yeah, if your creatures and your opponent's creatures are dying, better sack those triggers right.
Yeah, but although it's important to note, a lot of players miss this. You control both triggers. It's not app-nap like a lot of things are. So active player, non-active player, no. But the Dredge player controls both triggers, so they'll always get their zombies if things die in combat, which is good to know. And of course, also they have Icarids, which can die too. A lot of weird cards in Dredge. Cards you'll never see played anywhere else. And Mike Nyberg even takes a look at the Grave Troll, seeing what's going on. Yeah, Bridge from Below is a crazy card. People just don't know how to play that one correctly.
Yeah, it's tricky, but if a good dredge player will know how to get it done right. And it looks like Ryan he knows what he's doing, so at least he's piloted here to the X and X&1 or X and O.
I'd imagine X1. I imagine the XO is probably Drew, so probably X1. But I think just showing his discipline in discarding and drawing and discarding in the first 2 turns there shows how experienced he is. We see him discard an Icarid here. And Icarid is a weird creature, 3/1 with haste that dies at the end of the turn, and you can exile a black creature in your upkeep to bring it back.
Gets back the Icarid, exiles a Putrid Imp.
Yep, the Imp's not doing too much, and Michael's going to Swords that Icarid away before any damage can be done.
Yes, which is really good for Michael.
Yeah, the Swordsing the Icarid is kind of one of the key interactions. Ryan dredges Bridge from Below, finds a Narcomoeba. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Narcomoeba comes into play when you flip it off the top of your deck. Just a strange card.
But it's pretty good with Bridge from Below and Dread Return.
And Cabal Therapy and all those crazy dredge cards, yeah. Which is kind of a Future Sight powered deck with Bridge from Belows and Narcomoebas and crazy stuff. I felt bad. I played Dredge against a player in his first ever tournament once, and did not feel very happy afterward. I felt like the kid just didn't want to play Magic anymore. I could just tell. It's such a weird deck. You just don't. It's like you teach someone the rules of Magic, and then you show them Dredge, and they just don't understand. All right, so Mike Nyberg's going to Swords away the Narcomoeba. So Ryan left with nothing in play, and then just going to pass the turn back.
Well, the good thing for Michael is that Ryan's draw hasn't been great, and he can easily take control of this game.
Yeah, I mean, so Ryan discards another Icarid, which will help him out, but Michael is starting to get into commanding position. He does have Forces in his hand.
He's got a Jace, too.
Just found a Jace. Batterskull, although it may seem kind of slow, interestingly enough, does continually reset Bridge from Below, because you can pick it up, put the Germ into the graveyard, and get all those bridges, which is really worth noting. Let's see. It looks like Jace is going to stick. I mean, Ryan can't respond. Now Mike
brainstorm.
Yep. Oh, he's just going to Fate Seal.
Fate Seal.
Or Scry 1, I suppose. And Ryan brings back Icarid, exiling. Another Putrid Imp.
I guess Fate Sealing is the proper play there, because the Icarid can just attack and kill Jace. So.
Yeah, you don't want your Jace to just die, I suppose. And Michael has to read Bridge from Below, and oh dear.
Oh, tricky cards.
Yeah, that is a card. It takes forever to wrap your head around. One of the weirdest cards I think ever really printed. I made the mistake, I was telling Zach this yesterday, I made the mistake of buying mine in Korean because I like foreign cards. Oh. And it's created so many nightmares. Or I guess Chinese, not Korean. A lot of players probably haven't had to play against Dredge before. Michael might just not know how all these cards work, or even what their exact wordings are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, too, if when you're playing for top 8, you want to make sure you know what the cards do. I mean, I had a ruling with Bridge from Below earlier today, and I was like, oh, I'm thinking I know what it does, and then I was like, wait, before I finish this ruling, let me reread this card. You really want to be sure you know exactly what the cards do. There's no shame in rereading a card that you think you know and that you quote should know. I mean, there's no shame in that. I mean, you got to make sure you make the right play.
Right, you don't want to get blown out because you just forgot to read their card. Yeah. That's always the worst.
It's very easy to do, especially when you're nervous, got high pressure, playing a feature match for top 8. You might think you know something, but you don't remember everything about it.
So, oh no, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, you can't blame the guy there.
Yeah, for sure. So Ryan's Icarid dies, giving him a 2/2 zombie token. And then he just discards another Icarid, I think, and passes the turn back to Michael. Michael fetches on his turn, clearing the top cards of his library. Dennis M. asks if this is LED Dredge or non-LED Dredge. This is no LED. There's no Lion's Eye Diamonds in this build, no deep analysis. Michael Nyberg plays that Batterskull, taps out for it. Although he is tapped out, that will allow him to deal with all the bridges.
Yeah, well, he does, and also, too, if Ryan tries to cast that Dread Return, he's got the Force of Wills in hand, so.
Exactly. Yeah, Mike has 2 Force of Wills. Which is brutal.
Oh, looks like they're fixing the graveyard order. I think that. Yeah, this right in Legacy, you cannot rearrange the graveyard. You have to keep the graveyard as in the order it is, because there are cards that matter.
Right, like in case someone plays Phyrexian Furnace, I suppose. It actually can legitimately matter with Dredge, you know, if you have a card like Nether Shadow or something like that. Although that's not this version of Dredge in particular. But Ryan exiles 2 cards, gets back both his Icarids. Dredge is a Grave Troll, getting
2 Narcomoeba.
And a Bridge from Below. And a Dread Return, I think. Now, Ryan probably thinks the coast is clear, but what he doesn't know is Mike has 2 forces, although I think he
only has 3 Narcomoebas.
3 Narcomoebas, wow. Although I think he only has 1 extra blue card to pitch. So he might be able to sneak by a second Dread Return here.
Which he dredged over.
Yep. Yeah, he got a couple of Dread Returns in his graveyard, so he could... And he has 2 bridges, right? Yeah, 2 bridges in play. So he could definitely Dread Return, but although I don't think he has a good target right now. And he has no way to get cards into his graveyard except for his discard stack. He couldn't even bring back a Grave Troll if he wanted to. And
so he attacks with the Icarids, blocks 1, Jace dies.
Oh man. Alright, so Jace gone. That Batterskull's still in the way though. And that'll start dealing with those bridge and blows, which is kind of pesky.
So Michael really needs to draw another blue card here so we can counter both Dread Returns. But it doesn't look like Ryan has anything in the graveyard right now that, I mean, aside from the Grave Troll, which is not going to be that huge right now. I mean, he doesn't have a good target to reanimate with that, so.
Yeah. I mean, looking at his list, it looks like he's got a Sphinx of Lost Truth, which would help him churn through his deck, and Golgari Grave Trolls. He also has a Flamekin Zealot to kill in 1 turn, potentially. Alright, so Michael's going to serve with a Batterskull. Sure, why not? And Ryan just takes the damage, going into 20 life. Michael up to 25 after that. And I'm sure Michael's going to leave 3 up so we can pick up his Batterskull. And that's something even experienced Dredge players don't realize, is that Batterskull can kill off bridge tokens. We'll see if Ryan knows that. He does bring back his Icarid and his upkeep. And we're going to try and, once again, it's weird when you have, like, Ryan has no lands, anything.
I know.
Just, like, his graveyard is hitting up there, just, you know, chilling out.
It's like just a couple lands he's just milled over and... Is that Firestorm as well?
Yeah, Firestorm. Looks like 4 lands, Firestorm. And so Ryan Daly's board, 3 Narcomoebas, an Icarid, and 4 zombies. And yeah, Ryan's like, I'll just attack you. Would you like?
I'm in swinging.
Would you like to block? I would guess that Michael would, in fact, like to block. And Michael will block the Icarid, probably, I'd imagine. And get some zombies. I wonder if Michael knows he can return the Batterskull.
Ooh.
Because he just let Ryan get zombies. And now Ryan's going to try and flash back that Dread Return. Does Michael know about the Batterskull? Oh dear. He doesn't look like he realizes that interaction.
He might be thinking about just hard casting a force here for the Dread Return and saving the other one for a tighter spot, but...
Wow, Michael concedes? What?
Interesting.
Oh, wow, I thought that Michael was actually in a pretty good position that game.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe he didn't understand the Batterskull
yeah, I don't think
interaction.
He did. Which is, a lot of players don't understand the interaction. And
yeah.
And it didn't look like he had played against Dredge very much. So, yeah, wow, that is too bad for Michael Nyberg. He didn't see that interaction, because I really felt like he was ahead that game.
Me too. But again, like Dredge is a match that a lot of players just go into the tournament. Well, if I play against Dredge, I play against Dredge.
Right. They don't play test against it, understand that kind of stuff. Plus, I mean, Michael Nyberg made top 8 of the Standard Open. I don't know him at all, but maybe he's just a standard focused player. He's playing a deck that isn't Blue White Blade deck you might know from past Standard formats, and isn't used to the Dredge cards. Had to read some of what Ryan Daly was doing. So, well, we'll see what happens here. Let's look at these guys' sideboards. Sideboarding against Dredge is weird, and with Dredge is weird. Let's look at what Ryan Daly has access to. I got an Elish Norn, an Iona, an Angel of Despair, an Ancestor's Chosen, a Nature's Claim, 3 Chain of Vapor, 3 Ancient Grudge, and 4 Fairy Macabre. What do you think, Callie? What do you think we're going to see here?
Well, I think he's... He might be afraid of Leyline, so he'll probably bring in the Chain of Vapors, which Michael does not have, but, as a Dredge player, being able to, get rid of that Leyline, turn 1 is pretty easy, especially if he's playing against a guy who's not playing black at all.
Right.
That's the only way they get the Leyline is putting into play. So he might bring in that.
Can't recast it or anything.
I don't know. This is a pretty good matchup for Ryan. So he might bring in some of his reanimating targets, like the Iona or the probably not Elish Norn.
Yeah, I think at most we'll see those Ancient Grudges coming, or those chains coming. He could bring in Ancient Grudge if he wanted to, but
yeah, if he's afraid of swords, but
or Relic or something like that. I mean,
yeah,
he does fight Relic of Progenitus and Tormod's Crypt, which is probably more likely than Leyline. But I think he'll bring in some of those cards. I don't know if he'll bring in both or what. Sideboard, like I said, sideboard with Dredge is always really weird. Sideboarding from Michael Nyberg is probably a little more straightforward. His sideboard is 2 Path to Exile, 2 Dismember, 2 Phantasmal Image, 2 Ethersworn Canonist, 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Disenchant, and 3 Relic of Progenitus. A bunch of 2s and a 3. What do you think he's going to bring in here?
Well, definitely Relic. Well, I don't know. He might not bring that in.
I would recommend it.
Definitely, I believe he's definitely bringing in Relic. He might bring in the Spell Pierce to help fight the Dread Returns. I just had a mind bonk there, whatever you call that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what he might take out. Probably Spell Snare. I don't see Spell Snare being good against Dredge.
At most, it'll counter Breakthrough for 1, which is pretty weak. Yeah, Spell Snare can certainly come out. Sword and Feast of Famine, I think it can definitely come out. I guess
a little slow.
Well, on the flip side, if the game goes long, it does give him Pro Black to attack past those zombies, which could be relevant.
Yeah, true.
But I don't think it's too huge. I think the second Batter's Skull will likely come out.
Yeah.
I think he'll want to bring in both his Path to Exiles for extra exiling effects, too. So probably 3 Relics, 2 Paths, maybe 2 Dismember, maybe not. Probably 2 Dismember. You want to fight those Putrid Imps if you can.
Be super sick if he brought in the Phantasmal Images to copy the creature reanimated.
Oh, sure. Be like, get back Angel of Despair. Yeah, okay, kill your Angel.
A lot of times Dredge just wins by having a bunch of zombies and bringing back Flamekin Zealot, and whoops, I win.
Yeah, I think players really underestimate the ability to just grind people out with the zombie tokens and Flamekin Zealots, or not even Flamekin Zealots, just zombie tokens and Icarids, and just attack, and Narcomoeba. The damage really adds up. All right, so here we go. Looks like Michael Nyberg is... Ryan is taking a mulligan, and I'm not sure if Michael Nyberg is. Doesn't look like it. So no. Ryan's going down to 6 cards again, but look at him. Calm and stoic. He knows, yeah, my deck mulligans, what of it? See if his 6 cards shoot him better.
Hopefully, Mike will, hopefully he won't concede so early. I really think he had a good shot at winning that game if he just hadn't conceded. But again, he might have just not noticed the interaction and just kind of felt defeated. Because a lot of times too, when players play against decks like Dredge, they get defeated. Right when they see in game 1 that they're playing against that archetype.
Right, they're just mentally gone.
And they just give it away by. Oh, well, I guess I'm just going to lose because I can't beat this. And
there's a turn 1 Mistress Factory Relic from Mike Nyberg. And also, not on top of that, too, if you notice, Ryan Daly's actions, like just his body mannerisms last game, was clearly like, I am dominating this game. He was like, I'm going to put the zombies into play, and I'm going to show all this knowledge. And Michael Nyberg, I'm sure, was just like, what am I supposed to do? So, yeah, Relic down for Mike Nyberg, and that's kind of one of the key cards after sideboarding here.
Yep, brings in Wasteland's the city.
Yep, City of Brass down, meets Wasteland. Looks like a pretty land-heavy hand for Ryan Daly. He might have kind of a different plan. And Mike forces him to exile the City of Brass there. Mike kept a 1-lander. Or no, sorry, he wastelanded. I just looked over and saw 1 land and was like, uh-oh. But I realized he traded wastelands. That was silly.
Gemstone Mine for Ryan. And looks like Michael draws a Flooded Strand. And let's see if we can It's like Michael's got pretty land heavy hand too,
Yeah.
but I think he's gonna start getting in there with Mishra's Factory.
Yep. Plays a polluted Delta. I guess maybe Factory's getting in here, or do you think he's going to keep up mana so we can activate it in case of any shenanigans?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what he does here. 'Cause I'm not sure trying to go the aggro route is the correct thing against Dredge. I think you want to be more control.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. I mean, you want to be able to close them out in short order, but as long as you control and keep your relic around, you'll be okay. Okay.
Well,
Michael Nyberg opts to just serve with that Mishra's Factory.
I can't see everything in his hand, but if he's got a bunch of creatures, then maybe he can land a sword.
Yeah.
He might be in the game.
Yeah, Ryan. I mean, Ryan has the potential to go like careful study breakthrough this turn while his opponent doesn't have relic up. But yeah, Ryan doesn't have those cards, and he's just forced to pass the turn back, allowing Michael to get quicker attacks in. And yeah, it looks like Force of Will drawn by Mike Nyberg there.
And beats with the Mishra's Factory. Excuse me. Look at me. I'm saying cards wrong. Ryan draws a Golgari Thug. But I think he's just going to play the Stinkweed Imp. Or Putrid Imp.
Okay.
Looked like a Stinkweed Imp in his hand.
Brings the Gemstone Mine down to 2 counters to cast Putrid Imp. And we'll see if Mike lets that resolve.
Well, he's just got 4 Snapcaster and lands. So he's thinking whether he wants to get rid of that Snapcaster. Which, that's a tough decision to make.
For sure. That Putrid Imp does help him play around Relic a little. He can just, discard one at a time, slowly build up his graveyard forces. Let's see. Draws Caracas, I think that's right.
Looks like it. And beats again.
Yep, serves in with the Mishra's Factory one more time, dropping Ryan Daly down to 14 life. Passes back. Ryan's going to discard Golgari Thug and stuff. We'll see if Michael Nyberg takes an action with his relic. He's going to Scrabble the relic, and okay, he's just going to let Thug get exiled. I'm surprised Ryan didn't discard an extra card there. I think he just has an extra land in his hand, but I'm not sure. No, I guess not. Doesn't look like it. His hand is Bridge, Golgari Thug, Cephalid Coliseum. And here we go, Dredge on Stinkweed Imp. Ancient Grudge, Thug, Narcomoeba, Icarid. If I were Mike Nyberg, I would blow that relic right now. I think that that Ryan is probably just going to grudge away the relic, and you just want to cut him off from bring that Narcomoeba back.
Yep. Pops the relic.
Yeah, there we go. Relic gone. You saw what was going on there. And those all exiled. And Narcomoeba does not come back into play. But without the relic constraining him, Ryan can now still do plenty.
Mm-hmm.
He can start up discard Stinkweed Imp right there, can really start doing some things. And Ryan does have Cephalid Coliseum in his hand too, so once he hits 7 cards, he can just go nuts. Weird land that lets you draw 3 cards and discard 3 cards if you have Threshold. So, for sacrificing the land. So, really easy to speed through your deck with that one.
Looks like Michael draws another land. He's got a Stoneforge, and I think I saw a Batterskull in there too.
Taps Island, and attacks for 2 with Mishra's Factory.
Again.
Drop Ryan Daly down to 12 life.
Serves the beats.
Ben Rubenstein on Twitter asked about the interaction between Leyline of the Void and tokens. I mentioned this yesterday. How if you have Leyline in play and a token dies on your opponent's side, your bridges will get removed because Leyline says if a card would go to your graveyard, it's exiled. Tokens are not cards, therefore it gets rid of all the bridges in your graveyard. Just for anyone out there wondering. Ben asked about that on Twitter.
Let me just...
And because I brought this up yesterday. I used to play a lot of Dredge, and that was one weird interaction that came up sometimes. Ryan Daly, Dredge's Stinkweed Imp, milling Bridge, Cabal Therapy, City of Brass, Icarid, Careful Study. So he's going up to 7 cards. There's Cephalid Coliseum.
And he's about to start
Time to
going
dredge 'em up.
crazy.
Whoa. Oh my. Activate Cephalid Coliseum. Here we go. Draws Stinkweed Imp. Draws, in quotation marks.
Dredges.
Stinkweed Imp. Looks like he finds a therapy there. Dredges again. Finds another bridge. Find a Grave Troll. Dredges the Grave Troll. Finds another therapy and another bridge. So quite loaded up for Ryan Daly. You can flashback that therapy, get some cards out of Michael's hand, and generate a boatload of zombies. Let's see. Flashbacks Cabal Therapy. There we go. Let's see what he names on Michael Nyberg here, presuming it resolves.
Wow, this is just, he has just exploded, but that's what Dredge does.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, this matchup is just terrible for Blade. I thought Mike Nyberg had a chance in the first game, but he conceded, and now this does not look very good for him. Mike casts Force of Will on that, on the therapy. And now Ryan's going to flashback another therapy. I think get 4 more zombie tokens. Gets rid of both Batter Skulls in his hand. Michael Nyberg's hand now just 2 lands.
Wowee.
And, yeah, I don't know how Mike's coming back from this one.
Yeah.
Even if he rips Relic, I think it's going to probably be too little too late. I think there's just going to be more Ryan's going to do. He passes back. Maybe he does have a window to draw Relic here.
Well, let's see.
Another Plains. Uh-oh, that's not going to do it. Caracas down for Mike Nyberg. And, alright, back to Ryan's turn. Brings back Icarid, exiling Putrid Imp.
Dredges the
Stinkweed
Imp.
Going to hit Narcomoeba. And 2 more Ancient Grudges.
Oh.
Chess Sanders asks interesting questions. Do creature tokens go to the graveyard but then do not exist? So do they hit the graveyard or is he wrong? Well, when creature tokens die, they do go to the graveyard, so they will trigger any. They'll trigger Morbid, for example, if that's your question.
Right. But with the Leyline,
With Leyline, they still go to your graveyard because they only make sure cards don't go. Tokens are not cards.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing to. Case like I said, kind of a confusing thing that came up. Zach and I were talking about it earlier. Where if you have Leyline in play, your opponent's creature token dies, your bridges will still go away because a creature is still going to their graveyard. Yeah, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
The Magic rules do all kinds of crazy things. It's just the way it works.
Oh, you should do something about that, Gavin.
I do sit pretty close to Matt Tabak, but I think he's pretty content with the way the rules
Fair enough.
work. Turns out when you change one thing in the comprehensive rules, sometimes the rules just blow up on you. So.
Yeah, well, we don't want the rules to blow up. Then we wouldn't have such a fun game. And we wouldn't get to watch this crazy deck.
Oh, man. So, a bunch of stuff happens. The end result, Ryan's going to have a bunch of zombies. Looks like 7 zombies, an Icarid, and a Stinkweed Imp. Looks at Michael Nyberg's hand, still the 2 lands that he knows from that Cabal Therapy. And now it's time to attack.
And sends in with his non-summoning 6 zombies and the Icarid.
If this from Magic Online and make the doo-doo-doo sound. Alright, Mischief's Factory coming out to block. The other trick with Blue-White Blade, Michael Nyberg might not know, is if you activate your Mischief's Factory, you can Wasteland it and get rid of all the bridges. Now, he didn't really have a Wasteland in this game, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Could have been a little trick he could have used. Alright, so Mike blocks with Stoneforge Mystic. That makes all the bridges go away. But Mike Nyberg's still in a really rough spot.
Yes. And he does
he have
Mike
any
doesn't even
wraths?
have any. Yeah, he doesn't have any board sweepers to handle an assault like this.
This is quite the assault.
I mean, even a relic here, I think, doesn't quite do it for him. Whew, goodness gracious, that is quite the graveyard. And looks like he draws another land.
Yeah, his hand just all lands. Michael Nyberg is just dead, I think.
Yeah.
Facing down 5 zombies, is that correct? Going to be able to bring
Looks
back
like
1 or 2 Icarids next turn, just 1 Icarid. You can block the Icarid. I guess he can go to 2 if he blocks with the Mistress Factory on Icarid. And he looks like he's going to dredge the Grave Troll.
Seems like a good choice.
Probably looking for Dread Return for Flamekin Zealot.
There's the Dread Return.
There's Dread Return. There's Iona, too. Oh, man. All right, well, let's see what Ryan Daly chooses to do. I think he should have this no matter how he does it. But
I think so, too.
He's going to attack with everybody. Yeah, Mike Nyberg's going to block with Mishra's Factory. Pump itself. I think this brings him down to 1 life. And I don't know what more Mike Nyberg can really do. He's going to get 1 more turn. But I don't think it's going to matter.
So, yep.
Yep. All kinds of crazy graveyard shenanigans are occurring. Oh, it looks like
Dread Returns Iona.
Dread Returns Iona. Name white probably, so he's going to get Wrath. Or Swords. Oh, he just missed the Caracas and Mike Nyberg had to play. That's actually very relevant. Whoa.
Draws Jace.
I don't think it matters. I think it was exciting there for a second, but I don't think it matters because he can't crack either of those Flooded Strands.
He could draw into a relic, and that would definitely help him.
Yeah, but
he's still at 1.
Still at 1 life. Yeah, that was a big misplay by Ryan Daly. He just got a little too fast there and missed the Caracas on Mike's side of the board.
Yeah, but I think even still, I don't think.
Oh no, there we go. Jace bounced a token. Now he just brings back Icarid. Yep. Yeah, that's it.
So as long as Ryan doesn't attack Jace.
It is always tempting, is it not?
I mean, who doesn't want to attack Jace?
Yeah, Michael Nyberg, if he wasn't at 1 life, if Michael Nyberg was at 2, he could Swords or something, but it's not how it goes down. Dredges some extra cards, just in case.
Elish Norn. Oh.
Narcomoeba. And yeah, now he's going to attack, and that's it for Mike Nyberg. Yeah. There's the hand. Ryan Daly with his dredge deck takes down the match 2-0.
Looks like one of Ryan's teammates is pretty excited in the background.
Yeah, Ryan played this deck pretty well. Besides that Iona mistake, I felt like, and that was just because he thought he had the game locked up. Felt like he played this match